Hi, my name is Brooke Pelfrey. I am currently a student at Liberty University. I am pursuing a PhD of Education in Instructional Design and Technology. This presentation is going to be fulfilling the EDU 732 Principles of Human Performance Technology assignment, where we have to present our Human Performance Technology research project. Today we're going to be discussing human performance technology and its use in the traditional classroom as it relates to educational technology. The use of human performance technology, or HPT, in the field of education has many potential benefits. The application of this model can lead to the implementation of effective systems to enhance the performance of students on many levels. When combined with educational technology, HPT is given the opportunity to enhance education even further. Educational technology has the potential to be greatly beneficial to the learner. However, there are also shortcomings as to anything in life. Throughout the use of HPT, the risk of improperly using or selecting educational technology for the use in a traditional classroom can be minimized or avoided. The incorporation of the structure of HPT allows for lasting success in the implementation of educational technologies within the classroom. The purpose of this research paper is to examine the application of the human performance technology model in a learning environment that incorporates the use of educational technology. Throughout this research project, human performance technology and educational technology will be defined and applied into a learning environment. The research conducted in order to provide a holistic view of the effect of human performance technology on educational technology will be assessed. The implications of this research on a traditional classroom will be addressed. The incorporation of the principles and framework of HPT in the utilization of educational technology will be examined. Ultimately, this research will provide evidence that educational technology can be used with the framework provided by human performance technology to create a positive learning environment for students following a traditional classroom learning style. Now, over the years, there's been a lot of research on what human performance technology actually is and what it can be defined as. And so, throughout the duration of this field of study, it's evident that there have been many different definitions that have surfaced regarding HPT. Gilbert, in 2019, goes into detail regarding the importance of which words should be used when describing human performance technology. He makes mention of that they should be appropriate to the field of study. Now, King and Melinda in 2018 examined 3 different sources on human performance technology to find a correlation between the definitions and break down what the different sources agree on in regard to human performance technology. Carliner in 2014 mentions that human performance technology highlights that the methodology can be used for individual or organizational performance improvement. Keeping this in mind, many researchers can agree on different terms that can be used to define the human performance technology. Words that have been used to define human performance technology include, but are not limited to, systematic, systemic, and outcome-based. This shows that there are key components of human performance technology and the basic guidelines for its use. And that comes from King and Melinda and O'Driscoll in 2015. The International Society for Performance Improvement's Human Performance Technology Model also provides a framework or model of steps that can be taken to improve upon a process. We heard that from Adloff and O'Driscoll. Forshey and Osam and Nold say that the first step is to identify and analyze gaps between the actual performance and the ideal performance. Following this step, an intervention will need to be selected to work toward bridging the gaps between the two performance levels. This is a vital step that requires much deliberation and research. After an intervention has been selected, then the implementation of that intervention takes place. This step requires consistency and dedication on the part of those performing the implementation. The final step in human performance technology is the evaluation of the implemented intervention. Richardson and Sayavarinaut both say that the evaluation has to take place following the implementation. The evaluation provides crucial information to ensure that continued increased performance is achieved. This visual can be used to see those steps in the process. The process proceeds in order from analysis through intervention selection to intervention implementation before finally going through evaluation. The process is, in practice, cyclical. This means that when the end of the process is reached, it can actually be repeated in order to further improve the end result indefinitely. The methods of implementing these steps may differ slightly in different cases due to the flexible nature of human performance technology. However, the basic framework remains consistent. And so this figure that we're looking at just displays a visual representation of the steps of the human performance technology model that's outlined by O'Driscoll. Educational technology can be defined as any technology implemented for the use of teaching or educating, according to ACET. There is a plethora of educational technologies that are available to utilize in the classroom or through online learning that would benefit the learner through means of learning the content and providing engagement for students. These technologies can be used to help educate and engage students in a way that's diverse and interesting. These technologies can work with HPT in order to provide a more well-rounded and complete education for all students. There are many uses for educational technology, but there are also areas in which pitfalls could be found in the field of educational technology. So the purpose of educational technology is to foster engagement, interest, and investment of the students. So there are several benefits for educational technology use within the classroom. The primary benefit for the use of educational technology in the classroom is that of engagement. Aside from engagement, students may be more willing or interested to complete tasks that have a fun factor. Bedliner told us that students are more willing to work when it's fun and engaging. If a teacher uses gamification to gain student interest, the student will be more willing to participate or partake in learning without even knowing it. It is something that students can get invested in. Students are more likely to learn a skill or concept when it's fun or engaging. Specifically, if tasks within the gamification builds upon each other, students will have to complete easier questions to get to the more challenging questions and show their understanding of a concept to move forward in the game. Utilizing educational technology appropriately also has the benefits of diversification in teaching methods and material. Many educational technologies allow for modification of material to suit a wide range of learners. Borbor highlights that the modified material will be able to reach more students. All humans are not the same. Different people learn most effectively in different ways. Holmes tells us that the use of educational technology in the classroom can assist in meeting these individuals on many levels at the same time. The use of educational technology to meet students where they need help and provide differentiated instruction is a vital part of the benefit to education. But just like with all things in life, there are some flaws to educational technology. A primary flaw in educational technology is that of selecting a tool for the classroom that does not provide much educational value. And Bohr really highlights that it's important to know that the educational technology that's being implemented is going to actually provide value to the learning. So there are a great many options for educational technology, and they're not all created equal. The purpose of educational technology is to provide technology to facilitate and enhance learning within the classroom. If a poor selection of educational technology is provided for the students to use, it will inevitably show the weakness of not selecting quality educational technology. This has been seen time and time again with websites that are intended to create engagement and learning but lack the educational side. Improper methods, framework, and design utilized in some sources of educational technology have actually shown a lead to a loss of performance, undesired behaviors, and declining effects, according to Toda et al. In 2018. Proper care and time must be devoted to the selection of adequate and effective instructional technology in order to minimize or avoid these risks. The use of methodical, systematic framework can assist in the selection and evaluation of educational technology in order to assure that the best options are being selected. Research shows the merits of human performance technology in educational scenarios. This applies to a broad variety of different education methods. Human performance technology has been applied to traditional classroom teaching for secondary grades, online learning, university level courses, and corporate training with success. This wide variety of uses makes human performance technology a particularly well suited tool for individuals that are interested in a flexible tool with which to make improvements in many areas. Education takes many forms, and HPT can be applied to a great number of them. HPT can be used in many scenarios to improve performance and reach the desired outcome. Human performance technology has been used to increase student educational attainment when used in educational settings. This comes in many forms. An example of implementation for higher education can be seen in the work of S. Miller et al. In 2019, in which a team of researchers applied the HPT principles to make open educational resources, or OERs, more available to students at an institution they served. This served to literally make education more accessible to students by reducing the financial strain of attaining an education. More students would be able to access the materials needed for education and therefore receive a better education. A similar project focusing on the utilization of OERs was conducted by Richardson in 2022 in order to enhance the accessibility and quality of materials available to students. This project was wholly guided by HPT and became a successful implementation to aid many students and educators. Upon completion of this project, it showed the sustainability and reliability of the HPT model. The model of human performance technology can also be applied to other learning scenarios. An example that applies to secondary education can be seen in the work of Arrington et al. 2022, in which the human performance technology in a K-12 classroom is closely examined on multiple fronts. This study showed that although utilized differently, the results of following the framework of HPT are consistent. Human performance technology has been implemented to assist in not just simple attainment of grades, but HPT has also shown to be able to increase not only student competency, but also innovativeness. This shows that HPT can be implemented to increase student achievement on a variety of levels, not just increased academic performance as measured by grades. The principles of human performance technology can be applied in a variety of situations in a variety of different ways, but it has proven to be consistent in many different facets of education. This framework is flexible enough to apply to a variety of different situations while being rigid enough to ensure consistent results. This is especially practical when considering the implementation of this model to education. Human performance technology can be applied to a traditional model of education in a variety of ways. The steps of the human performance technology process, when applied correctly, provide a strong framework for which to build a successful model of education. And this was highlighted by Eslimer in 2020. This further supported by the integration of educational technology in the traditional classroom. Through following the steps of HPT, the use of educational technology in the classroom can be met with great success. This can be seen when examining how the individual steps of the human performance technology model can be applied to educational technology in a traditional classroom. The following information will go through as a theoretical but research supported scenario in which human performance technology and educational technology can be implemented together for an effective approach to education. This will go through the steps of analysis, intervention selection, intervention implementation, and evaluation in order to provide a thorough example of how the International Society for Performance Improvements, or ISPI, human performance technology can work with educational technology in practice in a traditional model of education. In the analysis phase of human performance technology, the educator would examine the teaching methods utilized to identify gaps in actual performance versus the ideal performance, as explained by Forche in 2015. This would be conducted through a variety of means. The current achievement level of students utilizing current teaching methods would be acquired through diagnostic or norm reference testing. It would be compared to the ideal achievement levels for similar populations of students. The direct observation of a licensed educator can also be considered at this step. These forms of data collection would provide a potential goal for improved teaching methods to reach. This would be the learning gap that needs to be addressed. The use of educational technology could potentially assist in bridging this learning gap. However, the technology itself must be examined first to ensure that it would be a good fit for meeting the instructional needs of the students that have been identified. Clark and Mayer in 2016 discuss how this can be initially assessed by applying the principles of multimedia, contiguity, modality, redundancy, coherence, personalization, embodiment, segmenting, and engagement in order to perform a preliminary impression of the potential for student learning, a prospective educational technology. However, the implementation of this technology must be continually monitored and assessed. The implementation would be proven successful through the continued monitoring of student achievement and gap analysis of student learning. This monitoring would provide ongoing data to support the further implementation of similar approaches to utilizing educational technologies or show where the weaknesses of the educational technology selected must be addressed. The selection of intervention to be utilized is a crucial step in the human performance technology process. This step is one in which research and evaluation of potential options must be performed with diligence. Richardson and Saravant express that the research and evaluation of potential options must be performed with diligence. Educational technology is one of many options for the intervention method selected to improve the student performance in a traditional classroom. The selection of the tool that will be used is vital if progress is to be achieved. Benlier and Bobar state that educators must be made aware of the potential options that could be a benefit to their instructional methods, so ensuring that they're picking a good educational technology. This information can be gathered through research and networking on a district level, then disseminated to local educators through the use of professional development in order to ensure that all educators are maintaining continuously improving teaching methods. The intervention selection process should include the information gathered through the initial assessment when evaluating new or improved resources for educator implementation. Upon evaluation of various options for this form of intervention, the process of implementation could begin. Following the selection of the intervention process, the intervention chosen would need to be implemented to attempt to bridge the gap between ideal performance and actual performance. Educators must be thorough in their application of the selected method of intervention. through the use of educational technology to assure that the accurate results can be gathered and recorded. There must be consistency in the methods followed in introducing and employing the chosen methods of intervention in order to allow for proper analysis of the results of this implementation. Richardson et al. 2022 says that there must be a developed procedure that educators are able to clearly follow to facilitate the effect of the intervention being measured with as little bias as possible. The implementation must also consider the limitations imposed upon the system. There may be costs or personal needs that must be considered upon the implementation of the chosen method of intervention as well. These considerations must be evaluated in order to most effectively implement the chosen method of intervention. Upon completion of this stage, the gaps in teaching methods should be addressed in a way that helps each student to achieve the highest level of learning achievable through the use of the selected educational technology method to bridge the achievement gaps. In the evaluation phase of human performance technology, the effectiveness of this chosen process and intervention method is evaluated. This evaluation should be based upon the data that has been collected. The data collected at the beginning of the process can provide a baseline upon which the productivity of the selected process can be evaluated. Data gathered at regular intervals can be helpful in determining the effectiveness of the implementation process, but the data from the end of the process should provide clear evidence on whether or not the selected methods of intervention and processes followed were effective at bridging the identified gaps that were focused on in this process. If there's no progress been made, a different educational technology or different approach to implementation may be considered. As previously stated by Holmes in 2021, not all learners are the same. Due to this, the methods that work in one situation may not be the most effective in another. By following an established framework, a systematic approach to finding the best solution to address performance gaps can be utilized. And that was highlighted in Adloff's research. The human performance technology model provides a flexibility and usability that it can be applied to the application of many educational technologies. This creates a system that is iterative and modifiable to ensure that the most beneficial solution is reached at the end of the process. As new gaps are identified, the process can be adapted through the changing of teaching methods or the selection of new educational technologies for implementation. Any changes that are required to best bridge any remaining gaps will go through the process once again to come to an additional evaluation. In this way, the cycle of analysis, intervention selection, intervention implementation, and evaluation will continually provide updated and effective instructional methods and educational technologies for students. Human performance technology is a systemic, and outcome-based model. The model provides the framework that can be used to construct a variety of different approaches to solving a problem. The process of analysis, intervention selection, intervention implementation, and evaluation provide a cyclical process that ensures the highest quality material is carried forward. Educational technology is technology used for the purposes of education. The two ideas, although seemingly separate, can work together to the advantage of educators and students. The intersection of human performance technology and educational technology provides a positive outlook for the future of education. This fertile ground provides a place from which learning and understanding can grow and thrive. The framework of human performance technology allows for a structure through which educational technology can be utilized and validated. The flexible and repeatable nature of HPT allows for great progress to be made towards selecting the best method of training for each situation. The systematic approach of human performance technology allows for synergy to be achieved when paired with educational technology in order to increase the performance of learners on multiple levels and improve student achievement.